In April of 2011, in a single 24-hour stretch, 216 tornadoes touched down across the southern United States. More tornadoes than most states see in 5 full years, all crammed into one day. Entire neighborhoods in Alabama were erased down to their concrete foundations. 324 people died before the sun came up the next morning. And when meteorologists finally went back and studied exactly what set that day in motion, they found something far more unsettling than bad luck. The atmosphere had built the exact same loaded setup before, decades earlier, almost piece for piece. This isn't a freak event that happens once, it's a recipe. And the ingredients for that recipe come together more often than most people realize. Tonight, on The Hidden Pattern, we're breaking down why tornado outbreaks, the kind that produce dozens or even hundreds of tornadoes in a single day, keep repeating the same atmospheric setup year after year in the same handful of regions. Not coincidence, not random weather, an actual recurring pattern that scientists can now see coming days in advance. If you're new here, hit subscribe. Every video on this channel finds the pattern hiding behind a disaster everyone's heard of, but almost nobody actually understands. And drop a comment telling me if you've ever lived through a tornado warning yourself. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what your sky was doing that day. Let's get into it. To understand why outbreaks repeat, you first have to understand that a single tornado and a tornado outbreak are almost two different disasters entirely. A single tornado needs a thunderstorm and some spin in the atmosphere. That happens somewhere in America almost every week of spring. An outbreak is different. An outbreak needs 4 separate ingredients to show up over the same patch of land at the same time, stacked on top of each other like a loaded gun. The first ingredient is warm, moist air at the surface. This almost always comes from one place, the Gulf of Mexico. A south wind pulls that thick, humid air northward into Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, feeding the storms from below like fuel poured onto a fire. The second ingredient is a layer of dry air sitting above that moist air, acting like a lid. This lid lets energy build up underneath it without releasing, for hours, sometimes most of a day, the exact same way pressure builds in a sealed container. When that lid finally breaks, everything that built up underneath it releases at once, instead of trickling out as ordinary scattered storms. The third ingredient is wind shear, winds at different heights in the atmosphere, blowing at different speeds and different directions. This is the ingredient that turns an ordinary thunderstorm into a rotating thunderstorm, called a supercell. Without shear, you get rain. With strong shear, you get a storm that spins. And the fourth ingredient is a strong jet stream disturbance arriving from the west, swinging through right as the first 3 ingredients are already in place. The trigger that detonates everything that's been building. Here's where the pattern part comes in. These 4 ingredients aren't random. They come together because of geography that never changes. The Gulf of Mexico sits exactly where it sits. The Rocky Mountains sit exactly where they sit, drying out air as it descends over the plains. And the jet stream, especially in spring, swings through the central United States on a predictable, seasonal rhythm. Put those 3 fixed geographic features together, and you get the same atmospheric collision, in the same general region every single spring. Not because the weather is being unusual, but because the map of North America is built in a way that makes this collision almost inevitable. This is why meteorologists don't call it bad luck when an outbreak forms. They call it climatology, and the climatology of the central and southern United States has produced this same setup, in recognizable form, for as long as we've had instruments to measure it. Now here's the part that surprises most people. The region most associated with this, the one called Tornado Alley, running through Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas, isn't actually where the deadliest outbreaks happen anymore. Over the past few decades, the most dangerous version of this pattern has been quietly shifting east into Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, a region researchers now call Dixie Alley. The ingredients are the same, but three things change once you cross into Dixie Alley, and all three make the outcome worse. The first is timing. Tornadoes here are far more likely to happen at night, while people are asleep, because the same Gulf moisture that fuels the storms keeps feeding them long after dark, when storms in the plains would normally be weakening. The second is visibility. The plains are flat and open, so a tornado can be seen coming from miles away. The southeast is covered in hills and dense trees, which hide a tornado until it's almost on top of you. And the third is housing. Manufactured and mobile homes make up a far larger share of housing in this region, and they offer dramatically less protection than the site-built homes more common across the plains. So when researchers went back and rebuilt the atmospheric setup behind the April 2011 super outbreak, they weren't looking at something new. They were looking at the same four ingredients: Gulf moisture, a capping lid, strong shear, a jet stream trigger, except stacked unusually high. All four turned up to their most extreme version at once, sitting directly over Dixie Alley's most vulnerable ground. And it had happened before. On April 3rd and 4th of 1974, the same four-ingredient setup produced the super outbreak. At the time, the largest tornado outbreak ever recorded: 148 tornadoes across 13 states in just 18 hours. Meteorologists studying it decades later found the same Gulf moisture plus capping lid plus jet stream signature that would reappear in 2011 and would reappear again in later outbreaks after that. Different year, same recipe. This is the part that should genuinely sit with you. Forecasters can now see these ingredients coming together 4, 5, sometimes 6 days out on a weather model. Not the exact tornado, but the recipe for one. The Storm Prediction Center issues outlooks ranking the risk on a scale, and when they put a region under their highest category, high risk, it means all four ingredients are confirmed and stacking, days before a single cloud forms. That's not a guess, that's a pattern, recognized early enough to act on it. So here's the honest answer to the question this video is actually asking. Are these outbreaks getting more frequent, or are we just hearing about them more? The data is genuinely mixed, and any forecaster will tell you the same thing. The total number of tornadoes reported each year has gone up. But a meaningful part of that increase comes from better radar, more storm chasers, and cell phone cameras catching tornadoes that, 50 years ago, would have spun in an empty field and gone completely unrecorded. What scientists are more confident about is something different and arguably more important. The tornadoes are clustering. Instead of spreading out evenly across the season, more of them are arriving in single, concentrated outbreak days, while the number of quieter, ordinary days is going up at the same time. Fewer days with action. More tornadoes packed into the days that do have it. And that shift matters, because a single ordinary tornado is a local disaster. An outbreak with the same four ingredients all stacking on the same day is a regional one. Dozens of communities dealing with the same threat within hours of each other. Emergency responders stretched across an entire state at once. The geography that creates this pattern isn't going anywhere. The Gulf of Mexico will keep sitting exactly where it sits. The Rockies will keep drying out the air that flows over them. The jet stream will keep swinging through every spring, on schedule, the way it always has. The four ingredients will keep finding each other, the same way they did in 1974, and again in 2011, and in outbreaks before and after both of those years. The pattern was never the mystery. The only thing that changes from year to year is how many of those ingredients line up at once, and exactly where the strongest version of that lineup decides to sit. If you live anywhere across Tornado Alley or Dixie Alley, or if you've ever watched a sky turn that strange shade of green before a warning sounded, let me know in the comments. And if this is the kind of pattern you come here for, hit subscribe, because we're just getting started.